The news today for Elizabeth Pollard, 1960, 2024. Mrs. Pollard fell down a sinkhole looking for her cat. Her body shone in the cavernous depths like a vein of iron. She had called to her beloved friend Pepper over and over, her voice growing hoarse in the cold Pennsylvania night. Hundreds looked for her, calling her name, some talking cat talk to lure out the yellow siren from her hiding place. But there was no sign of life. Nothing stirred out of its winter sleep, not even dogs behind high wooden fences. The moon shone like a searchlight, without a hand to guide it to the crevices where her shoe lay in the mud. Mrs. Pollard's body was cold and hard on the packed clay around her. The mine beneath her corpse had closed 75 years ago, leaving hollows and dead ends. The circuitous roots of coal seams leading down into the feral depths of reptiles and rainforests. She was among the ghosts tucked away in the planet's bosom. The search teams gave up. The ladders folded and tied to the roof. Heavy coats hung up in the crew cabin of the fire truck. Another soul pawned at the grim last stop of life. She had come to offer love and faith in nature and held out a hand to darkness, begging it to give back a beloved spirit. Instead, her heel slipped on the sinkhole rim. Her leg buckled under her until she was small enough to be swallowed. 30 feet below, the ledges of hell began. The damned moved in lockstep at the turning of the next gallery, dragging their feet toward oblivion. The Judas cat had done its job, luring her out of the lamplit nook of her living room, pulling her away from the stove and the tea kettle, the apron on its nail, muffled voices of her radio. "Come back," begged her husband, who couldn't hold back his tears. The phone rang, but no one answered. The streetlights came on. The lisp of shoes on the snow muttered as they passed the porch. Darkness unfolded its star-pierced umbrella overhead, and the empty bed grew into a frozen field covered with echoes and squandered prayers. No stone could bring her back to life among the mourners. A rust-belt town built on greed and cheated labor, a line of stores sealed up like old diaries, dusty with anecdotes of Christmas Eve, turkeys on platters, breakfast bacon and boiled coffee fresh from the stove. Children's names, lighter than paper, floated away on the river's foam. And below, in a solemn pose, lay an acolyte of God's creation, lips pursed with a cat's name.